Hello, hello. Welcome to Yoga for Love. I'm Lisa Ware, your host, visionary vixen of Yoga for Love online trainings. And I'd like to invite you to jump in and get some bonus gifts on my website after this class, yogaforlove.com, and click on the Goddess of Vision in Action. We have some really amazing gifts for you, and we have a wonderful goddess course coming up in the following 5 weeks. So check it out. We're going to get started with Shamanic Intuitive Vinyasa today, so go ahead and get on your mat, grab some water. If you have a yoga block or a yoga strap, that would be ideal. And then also, if you would like to grab a blanket or a bolster to sit on, so we can get started. We're going to begin with our breath work. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. And I'm going to scooch my mat back just a little bit so it can have a better view here. We're going to begin in easy seated. So go ahead and find your easy seated posture. You can take the ankles and cross them underneath you in just regular Sukhasana posture. And you can also separate your ankles and let your knees drop open into Siddhasana. You're going to take your inner ankle and pull it all the way up to your pubic bone. And then take your outer foot and push the sole of your foot against your shin. And then drop the knees open. Now, if that's uncomfortable for you, don't do that. Just come back to regular seated. And if you're seated and your knees sit really high, go ahead and grab a bolster or a blanket to sit on that. If you need to, you can also prop up the edges of your knees with your blocks, and that might feel more comfortable today. So just get yourself where you're not fidgety. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out with your natural breathing cycle. In and out through the nose. And then just settle yourself down into your mat. We're going to ground down into our tailbone and relax our belly. Breath in and breath out. And just observe your natural sound of your breath without shifting or shaping it in any way. And just notice where you're at. And then just sit down and pull your pubic bone forward and let your lower back relax a little bit more. Let your belly relax a little bit more. And then just drop down into the earth. You're going to imagine we have a little tail like a spider monkey tail. And it comes all the way down from the tailbone and extends out. And it's going to just curl all the way deep, 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 deep down around the middle of the earth. And just wrap your little tail around there. And then draw your energy down. Feeling that apana energy, the downward flow. And then begin to tap into this infinite supply of energy in our mother planet. Pancha Mama, Gaia is what she's called. She has a female consciousness. And begin to pull up and lift up through your heart, pulling that infinite supply of energy up into your own energy body. Let your chin relax and your throat relax, and maybe just rock your head and neck from side to side. Maybe back and forth, and just relax the jaw, move the jaw side to side. And then just close the lips and keep some space between your teeth. Touching the tongue to the back of the teeth. Let a small space come at the back of your throat. And then begin to use your Ujjayi breath. Breathing into that space in the back of the throat. Allow the air to swirl around the back of the throat. And you're going to hear the breath like the sound of the ocean in and out through the nose. Let your belly rise and fall like the tide. Tapping into the element of water this year is going to be so important for your healing process. So take a moment to connect to the waters of our planet. Over 97% of the waters of our planet are in the oceans. So take a moment to connect to the ocean, our sisters. Begin to deepen your breath, so you're going to hear the breath forcefully being pressed out with your belly. Squeeze in and up and push the air all the way out. So you're pushing in and up with the diaphragm. Pause and squeeze belly button, squeeze the pelvic floor, press the breath in, tuck your chin to your throat. Coming into the master lock, all three locks, root lock, upper abdominal lock, throat lock. Breathe the rest of your breath out, stay there. And then bring your chin level with the horizon and breathe in. Now on your exhale, we're going to press the belly button in and up. We're going to push the energy up from the root, from the earth, through the spine, all the way up through the crown of your head. So this time we're just not going to lock the throat. So as you exhale, squeeze the breath and push, 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 push until you feel the energy reaching up and out through your third eye, activating your pineal gland that sits in the base of your head. And then on your inhale, continue following that energy up from the earth, rising up through the spinal column, right in front of the spinal column, up through the crown of your head. And use force to move your breath. This is pranayama. So prana is life force energy. And if you're just breathing very catatonically, you're not going to move life force. So you have to forcefully push with those locks to get the energy to move. We're going to do a couple more. Listen to this beautiful chant here. So go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. Listening to this Maha Mantra, Maha Mrityunjaya. Take a moment to establish your intention for your practice. And again, continue to ground down as you rise up so you feel that element of apana grounding you down, element of prana lifting you up. And you're feeling those oppositions. We're going to continue to flow with that. Going ahead and moving into downward facing dog. Finding your downward facing dog. Let your heels relax toward the ground, but not pushing them actively toward the ground. Just let your knees be fairly soft. Let your belly be relaxed. And then roll your shoulders away from your ears so you're creating some space between the ear and the shoulder. Activating the index finger and the thumb, spreading out the fingers, spreading out the toes. And take a few breaths here, using your Ujjayi breath, again, moving that prana, moving that energy in your downward facing dog. Big breath in and big breath out. Let's come forward into a plank. We're going to round the back and exhale. Looking at our navel, drop your hips low so you're not lifting your hips up like a down dog, but you're in a plank and you're just tucking your head. We're going to inhale back to downward facing dog. Exhale all the way forward in a plank and then round your head, neck, and shoulders and tuck. Activating your whole core, firing up your whole core. Inhale back to downward facing dog, soft knees. Exhale into rounded plank. So coming into plank, and then we just round the head, neck, and shoulders. Squeeze. Again, inhale, downward facing dog, soft knees. One more time, exhale, coming into plank, and then tucking the head and chin and round, squeeze. Inhale, back to downward facing dog, and just walk the dog and pedal the legs. Breathing here, in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift that right heel and the whole leg to the sky, but keep your toes facing the ground, so you're not opening the hip. And then exhale, set it down. Inhale, lift the left, flexing your foot. And then exhale down again, right foot. Keep your hips facing the ground, but lift as high as you can. And then exhale. Dorsiflexion, so you're pulling your toes towards you, left foot lifts. Big breath in, it's a nice hamstring stretch. Make it a nice long length from your heel to your hands. One more time each side, moving through. Lift with breath. And bring it down. And inhale. And bring it down. This time we're going to lift that right foot up. And then we're going to exhale, looking between our thumbs. Step your right foot forward and find a lunge. Fingertips are going to frame your front foot, and then drop that left heel and toes a little bit deeper down your mat so you have a nice long line of energy. Bring your right heel underneath you. Drop the left knee down. Let's rise up, coming into Anjaneyasana. Big breath in and take a back bend. Again, using your Ujjayi breath. And big breath. Exhale, hands come to heart center and coming down. Tuck the toes. Step back to plank. Exhale, rounded plank. Inhale into plank. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left. Nice and high, flexing the toes towards you, and then exhale, step right heel between the hands. Push back, left heel between your hands, and push back through your right heel. Now if your foot gets stuck, you're just going to take your hand and set it down so you can push your ankle right where it needs to go. And then we're just going to breathe here. Push back through your heel, stretching out through your calf. And drop the knee. Point the toe, coming up into Anjaneyasana, low lunge with a back bend. Breathe here. Two more nice long breaths. Breath in, hands to the heart, breath out. And then exhale down. Tuck your toes, step back into lunge, and then plank. Exhale, round the head, neck, and shoulders. Squeeze. Inhale to downward facing dog with soft knees. And just pedal the legs, exhaling it out. Let's take a moment and come into child's pose, dropping down. Keep your toes tucked under so the feet stay active, the knees stay under your body. And push back with the hands. Sitting back towards your heels, let your head drop between your arms. Spreading out the fingers, and breathe. Hands are active, Hasta Bandha, grounded into the earth. Toes are actively pushing back, so your toes are pulling towards you as your heels are pushing back. And you're activating your feet as well, Pada Bandha. Maybe change up your arm positions, and you can bring your head to the side. Drop your arms around your knees. Take a couple breaths here. In and out through the nose. Just gently kind of shake your shoulders out and breathe here. And let's go ahead and switch our head the other way. Resting the head. And then taking the hands next to the chest and coming up. And pointing the toes. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes under. Reach forward. Make sure that your toes are pressing back. Again, hands are reaching forward. Coming into your active child's pose, and then inhale into downward facing dog. And again, just pedal out the legs and walk it out. Breathing here. Let's walk hands and feet together, forward fold. Dropping into ragdoll, let the backs of your hands touch the ground, or grab opposite elbows and wrap your middle fingertip around your elbows. Shake the head out. Breathe here. You bend your knees and rest your chest on your lap if you'd like. Or you could deepen by grabbing your hands behind the back of your ankles, tucking your elbows behind your knees. Fingertips are going to point straight down, and then just tuck into a little ball. Breathe here. Forward fold. Bend our knees. Slowly reverse swan dive, arms out. Then up, big breath in. Take your back bend. And exhale, hands come to our heart. Coming to the top of our mat. Feet together. Starting posture. Take a moment here to check back in and set your intention for your practice. So breathing here, in and out through the nose. I'm going to fix my camera because I think it's getting foggy. Okay, that's better. So finding your intention. I'm going to switch our music here. For some reason it stopped. So on the next breath in, reach all the way up to the sky. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and bring your feet about shoulder distance, spreading out the fingers, coming into Utthita or far-reaching mountain pose. On the exhale, we're stepping our right foot back. Left foot is going to remain forward and come into warrior one. Find your focal point, in and out through the nose. Using your warrior breath, your ujjayi breath, the breath of victory. Again, moving energy through the body. Breath in, and opening hips and shoulders, breath out. Deepen your stance, so front to back, and then gaze over your left fingertips. Lighten your toes. Relax the shoulders, reaching just a little further. Just take that left palm up toward the heavens. Right hand's going to wrap around the inner thigh. Sink down into your left thigh and reach up and open through your left side body. And breathe. Lifting up for your aspirations for this new year, opening up through the armpit, opening up through joy. Exhale back to warrior two. Let's come into our side angle, Parsvakonasana. Front arm's going to just rest in the thigh. Back arm's going to reach up and over. And find a nice long reach here. If you want to deepen your stance, you can take your left hand to the ground, work your right foot down a little bit deeper. And reach here. Spin your palm to face behind you and open that space between the shoulder and the ear. Really press into the edge of that right foot. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come up, use your root lock. Come back to your forearm on the knee. Exhale, back to warrior two. Let's take a reverse warrior. Back to warrior two, just a couple times. Reverse to warrior two. And again. Exhale all the way down. We're going to windmill the arms. Pivot your heel, come into your lunge hold. Exhale. Breath in, step back to our plank. Exhale to rounded plank, curling the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale into plank, come into your downward facing dog. Exhale forward into plank. And back into your rounded plank. Squeeze the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale back to downward facing dog. One more time through that. Exhale, roll yourself forward. Squeeze it out. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders. And back to your downward facing dog. Exhale, walk up or jump to forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in half. Let yourself drop into a nice deep back bend. You can grab opposite elbows here Or again, you can tuck yourself into a little ball. Or you can find your ragdoll. Shake the head out. Loosen your toes. Bring your feet to about shoulder width. Bending the knees. Arms out, then up. Come all the way up. Take your back bend. Exhale, return to starting posture at the top of our mat. Samastitihi. Feet are together. Hands are at our heart center. Shoulders are relaxed. Find your focal point. Again, tapping into our Ujjayi breath. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Big breath in, palms face each other. Bring the feet to right underneath the hips. Relax the shoulders away from the ears and activate your hands. Fingers are active. Shoulders are relaxed. Find your focal point straight ahead. One little point on the space in front of you. Let everything else become soft and cloudy. That's your drishti. Step left foot back into warrior one. Hold here for a few breaths. Breathing here and opening into your warrior one. Ground down through your tailbone and make sure you're not hiking your hips out, your booty out, so you're grounded down to that back heel as well. Next exhale, we're going to open into warrior two. Deepen our stance. And relax your fingertips. Go from front to back, nice and long. The shoulders are relaxed. Gaze is strong. For those of you that are perfecting and advancing your posture, notice if your right hip is dipping down, and you can even touch your points of your hips and bring your right hip level with the left, and then sink a little deeper into your knee. Maybe bring your feet a little further apart. Take reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. And exhale. Come right into Parsvakonasana. So this time start your modified posture with the forearm resting on the thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. And again, spin that palm to face behind you. So you have that nice long line of energy from your pinky to your pinky toe. Find your drishti either out to the side or up at the sky. If you want to deepen here, work your left foot deeper down the mat. Right hand comes to the ground. Or go ahead and just grab your block and bring your block to the instep of your right foot. Left foot. No, that's your right foot. Right here. Reach and really open through that side body. Ground down through your feet. Come back to your modified posture if you weren't there already. And then using your root lock on your next inhale, come up. Exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, take a reverse warrior. We're going to windmill all the way down to your lunge. And go ahead and pivot that back heel, coming into your low lunge. And breathe. Breath in and breath out through the nose. You're sliding on your mat, just make sure you have a mat towel nearby. And step back to your plank. Inhale, coming into our plank. Now again, round the head, neck, and shoulders, but not lifting the booty. Still activating the core. Inhale into plank and into downward facing dog. Exhale, roll yourself forward like a wave. Coming into your rounded plank, activating that whole core. Squeeze the head, neck, and shoulders in. Pull the belly button in. Inhale, soft knees, back to down dog. Big Ujjayi breath. Exhale all the way into your plank, and then round it out, squeeze. Inhale to your downward facing dog. Pedal it out. And just walk it out. Find your breath here. In and out through the nose. Let's drop onto all fours. Go ahead and grab whatever you have nearby for hydration. into hero's pose. So you can grab your block or your blanket, sit on that, or on the ground, and then ground down into the earth. We take a moment to breathe and ground. And of course, hydrate. Take a moment to towel off if you would like to. Focusing here, ground down through the hands, through the tailbone, through the bottoms of the legs. And just focus on your heroes. This is Virasana, focusing on your inner guru, your own shining light within your heart. You're going to feel it expanding. So breathing into that light inside our heart. And then ground down. Again, use that little spider monkey tail analogy and pull down into the earth and suck up all that wonderful earth energy and let it beam out through your heart. And then exhale, just reach down and grab some more. There's an infinite supply and Mother Earth is extremely generous. She wants us to use it. So pull that Mother Earth energy up and out and beam it up through your heart and your third eye. And then again, ground all the way down through that tailbone. Wrap your little spider monkey tail deep down around that center of Pancha Mama's core. And then pull the energy up. Let it beam out through your heart, the front and the back, the third eye, and the crown of the head. Continue to pull the energy up, squeezing it as you do. Push that energy up and feel it spinning all the way out and up in a spiral. And then it just shoots out through the crown of the head. Let's go ahead and come back into our all fours, continuing to tap in and really focus on that element of water. We're going to just move into a watery flow of cat and cow. So just rolling the shoulders, we're going to squeeze into cat, and then just roll the hips. Roll the shoulders, let your head drop side to side. And then inhale into cow, scooping the shoulders, open it back. Maybe keep the eyes soft or closed. Exhale into cat, dropping out side to side. Inhaling into cow, opening the heart, lifting the tail. Let the ribs drop and really create space in front of the collarbones. And then exhale, squeeze it out. Even if you can, look at your navel and push back where your hips are kind of going back towards your heels. And really squeeze it out. And then just roll back into your cow one more time. Let's come into a neutral spine. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes under. Activating our child's pose, we're going to reach forward and then push back into your active posture. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, as you breathe in, make sure your hands are not coming off the top of your mat. You're fully grounded through your hands and your feet. And then use your core strength as you come up into your downward facing dog and just gently pedal it out. Nice and slow, just not a race. Taking those heel lifts, right heel comes straight up, leg is nice and straight. Lift, 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 and bring it down. Inhale, lift your left. Try not to open and roll the hips. You're not kicking the foot up, and you're keeping your chest facing down. And exhale. One more time for each side. And left, lift and breathe. And exhaling it down. Last cycle. Big inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Beautiful. And let's inhale, look between our thumbs. Exhale, walk, hop, or jump, folding in half. Hands to shins, lengthen. Exhale, grab opposite elbows or find your ragdoll or hug into a deep forward fold and let yourself melt and relax. Take a few cycles of breath here. Shake your head out. Relax your jaw. Let's reverse swan dive up. Big breath in. Take a back bend. Hands come to our heart. Feet come together. Coming to the top of our mat. This is Samastitihi, our starting posture. Find your focal point. Use your breath here. Toes are light. And since we've really been focused on rooting down today, let's move into tree. So just keep your hands at your heart center and begin to rise up with your branches like a little sapling, moving out from the earth and then popping open with the branches. Beginning to form leaves and shapes in your branches. Pick up your right heel and then turn your heel open, your knee open. Soften your left knee so you're kind of buoyant and able to move with the wind. And then lift the left foot. Now if you're having a turbulent day, you might keep your toe on the ground and just connect your ankle. If it feels a little more stable, you can bring your foot up to the inner calf, but don't push on the knee. If you want to go a little bit deeper, reach down and grab your ankle and tuck your heel all the way up near your pubic bone on the inner thigh. And come back in with your branches when you feel right. Add a little smile to your tree. Our trees don't need to be so dang serious. We're just trees after all. Take it easy. Take it easy, breezy. If it is a super breezy day and you're falling out of your tree, give yourself some grace. Just come back in and maybe just come into the place where you're just resting on your ankle. Or even bringing the hands to the heart. Or you can even change up your branches. They might face down or be crooked. So just be a little creative with how your tree might look for these last few breaths. And it might be unstable, so if it's unstable, restabilize through that left leg and soften your knee. And then exhale, release to mountain pose. Feet are shoulder width, hands come down by the sides. And just relax the shoulders, shake it out. Knees are soft. Just kind of move those hips around a little bit. Roll those ankles out a little bit. All right, now the other side. So we're going to, again, ground down through the feet. Find Tadasana. Spread out the fingers. Soften through the knees. Lift up through the crown of the head and notice where your energy is in your sacral chakra. And if you're in Tadasana and your tailbone's kicking out again, root it down. Down like that little spider monkey tail. Pick up the left heel. We're going to bend the knee and turn the ankle. And we're going to start with our feet this time. So sliding that foot up, maybe rest it on the thigh, and then begin to add your branches. It might be more wobbly. It might be less wobbly on this side. Don't judge. Let go of expectations. Let go of any competition within yourself or around the room. Pick up your left leg a little higher if you'd like. And just notice and just kind of see where your energy is on this side. It might be different. And it usually is. And it changes from day to day, hour to hour, for sure. Every 90 minutes or so, we go from Ida to Pingala, right to left, masculine and feminine. Especially you can tell if you get clogged up on one side and then you can breathe to the other side and it switches. So that happens and that's normal. Maybe you change up your arms and find your tree. Maybe a palm tree or a pine tree. You might be really fancy and look up at the sky today and maybe threaten on tipping over your whole tree. And you know what? You can come right back in. No big deal. So wherever you're at, slowly release. Come into Tadasana and just roll the shoulders out. Just shake the fingers out. Release that energy. Roll the hips out and roll out the ankles. We're going to move into airplane for a fun balance. And so coming in from coming in from mountain, and we're simply going to just release the hands back and just sweep back and step that right foot back. You might just stay halfway. You might bring your toe on the ground, or you might continue. Now again, make sure your left knee is buoyant. It's not locked. And continue to drop into your airplane posture. I like to call this posture hawk because you're really flying through the air. And hawks definitely came before airplanes, so I don't know why people call it airplane. But in the Western world, that's what it's called. And so from here, imagine you have huge feathers coming off your fingers. And then you have this amazing tail that helps you just glide through the air. Maybe you're looking over the edge of your mat and seeing a cliff and you're just diving off bravely into the thin air. So you're used to mountain pose. Now don't shake it out or roll out your ankles. I want you to notice the difference between the two sides of the body. And just breathe into that. And getting ready for your hawk pose on the other side. So this time let's sweep up. And then exhale and just look forward and step that right foot back. You might just bring it onto the ground. You might lift it all the way up. You might continue to deepen. So wherever you're at, imagine you're just swooping off a super high branch. And just able to catch the air and just soar with so little effort. Breathe here. For 2. For 1, release to Tadasana and hold. Big breath in, big breath out. Ground into the earth. Being stable like a mountain. It's amazing how simple little postures can be so challenging sometimes. Let's reach all the way up. And then let's take that swan dive and just fold with our heart center first. Come out to the side. And then release all the way down and shake it out. Finding your ragdoll or even grabbing opposite elbows and letting yourself drop a little deeper. And just let yourself find Uttanasana. Releasing any pent-up energy into the earth. Shaking your head, neck, and shoulders. Let's take a yogic squat coming down and then bringing the hands inside, elbows inside, toes out. Couple breaths here. Just grounding down. If you feel like your heels are making you unstable because they're not able to land on the ground, just grab both blocks and bring them end to end, like that, and then just bring your heels on top of them. And that's going to help to really stabilize this posture. Take a couple more breaths here. Taking the hands to the third eye, remind yourself of your intention for your practice. Now for those of you that are advancing your practice, you can move into a Firefly prep here. You can move your blocks out, and you can either stay in your Yogic Squat and just continue to kind of just decompress and drop down. If you want to move into your Firefly prep, you're going to take your hands like a little L shape. You're going to tuck your elbows underneath your knees and just lift the hips up. You're going to place that little L shape of your hands right behind your Achilles. And then just kind of squat down and bring your energy where your back of your tricep is supporting your glutes. So you're going to really tuck up and under. And then just kind of stay there. If you're feeling more stable, you can come into Ujjayi and bring your toes together. And if you're feeling a little frisky today, you can maybe come into a half posture, and then you can switch. So take a moment and come back out. Come back to your yogic squat. Let's come into forward fold and give our squat a little break. You can also enter your firefly from your forward fold. Releasing your neck and shoulders here. Find your ragdoll. Shake it out. And you can either just come back down into your yogic squat with or without your props. You can come into your firefly prep. So I'm going to come to the side this time so you can see. I'm just placing the fingertips and most of your knuckles on the ground. Once you lean your weight back, your heels of your hand are going to touch. And you can practice there, kind of bringing some weight back and forth. You can also start more from your forward fold and start a little higher, especially if you tend to fall on your bum when you're prepping. Bring your head forward, and you can bring your leg out. Make sure your back of your tricep is all the way underneath you, because otherwise you're not going to have enough of a platform. When it comes into your full posture, you can't. Breathe. Come back to your Tadasana. You can float here. Come back to our yogic squat. Let's come into easy seated, sitting back. That was fun.
It was interesting.
It was interesting. Maybe next year.
You're good.
Maybe 2020. Take a hydration break.
You get a lot of upper body strength.
It's more balance than strength. It's a little bit of both.
I can't even get my feet to touch.
You just take time to practice with it and work with the prep. So, try not to judge where you're at or get defeated, because there's really no goal. It's just for fun.
Right.
Strength.
I like that what that does though.
Yes. And even the prep is super, super efficient on strengthening and tapping into that core and really grounding. It's good for your wrists, because a lot of us who type and drive a lot tend to have weaker wrists, and they get worn out and they don't ever go this way because we're always doing this.
Right.
So when you put a lot of pressure on your hands, and it releases like all of that, those people that get carpal tunnel, those little cysts that build up in there. If I don't do arm balances for a week or two, I notice that starts to come back, because I did hair for 17 years. So that tends to really be an agitated area, So it's fun to, just to work those different muscles, and plus it gets the joint fluid really moving. So let's come into our breath, and I'm having a sinus issue, so I'm trying to catch my breath here. So breathe in and out through the nose. And let's come into butterfly. Feet together. Grab your props, your blocks, or your blankets. Even a couple pillows, whatever you got nearby. Just make sure they're the same height. And then holding onto the ankles or the feet, we're going to lift up the heart and fold forward. Tadasana. Big breath in. Exhale all the way out. Slowly coming up. And let's come into an all-fours position. We're going to step back into a kneeling plank. So moving your props out for now. And step back into kneeling plank. Big breath in. We're going to exhale, lower down. Chest. Heart center touches the earth, and then lower all the way out. Breathing here. Sweep the palms back by the hips, and rest on your chin or your forehead. We're going to come into Locust Posture. So just kind of scooping the upper body where you can relax through the forearms and push down through your hands. And then lift the legs, spread out the toes. Lift the upper body, opening the chest, but not looking up, just looking forward. And then add in your arms. Breathing here. Nice full breath. 2 more. And big breath in. Exhale it out. And we'll just turn over to our back side. Coming into the Apana flow of energy, the downward flow of energy. And hug our knees into your chest. Go ahead and move anything you have in your hair. And just hug and rock. Side to side. And then roll in little circles. Massaging that low back. We're going to switch. A few final postures before we move into our Shavasana. Pressing our feet down into the ground. Reach our hands toward our heels. And scooping the pelvis up, lower back, mid back, upper back, lift, 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 coming up into Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana. So we're going to bind the hands, push the knuckles toward the heels, and scoop your triceps underneath you. Lift a little higher. Coming into your bridge. Lift your heart center toward your chest, toward your chin, and try not to let your knees come out into a big W. Let the weight of your upper body rest down through your shoulders. Let your traps touch the ground and release it through your body down into the earth. Lighten your toes. Lift, lift, lift. And release. Upper body. Then the middle. Then the low back. And then the tailbone touches and a little space returns beneath your low back and your neck. Curling your knees to your chest. We're going to hug into a tiny little ball. Now we're going to inhale into reverse Superman. And reach. Exhale into a tiny little ball. Inhale into reverse Superman. A low boat. One more time. And reach. Make a little flutter kick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Knees to chest. And if you're doing that, you want to nurture your back. Hands are going to come down by your side. And then release all the way back. Feet on the ground. Let's inhale one more time into bridge. And then tucking the shoulder blades under the body. Lock your hands together. Lift, lift, lift. Let your shoulders melt onto the ground and release all that stuff out from your shoulders. Don't hold on to it anymore. Let Mother Earth take it for you. She's ready to transmute all that energy into something positive. But you got to let it go. Big breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Lowering each little vertebrae down. Take your hands behind your head and lock your hands together underneath the nape of your neck. And come onto your tippy toes. We're just going to simply rock the knees from side to side. And then drop them out to the right and twist the head, neck, and shoulders out to the left. Close your eyes. Big inhales. Soft exhales. Big inhale here. Exhale, switch out the other way. Let yourself melt. Big inhale. Exhale back to center. And let's release into Shavasana. Corpse posture. Extend your legs. Extend your arms. Relax your shoulders. Open the palms toward the heavens. Drop out. Soften the knees and breathe. As you release in Shavasana, I'm going to play a few bowls for you today. Let yourself just melt. Infinite light surrounds you. Infinite love enfolds you. Infinite wisdom guides you. Infinite power courses through you. Wherever you are, God is. Aho. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you like.